Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to help you stay organized. We're going to make an interactive calendar within Figma. So follow these steps and let's jump straight into it. So the first thing we're going to do here is grab our text tool and we are going to lay out the number 1. Okay, so we also want to just right click on this and we want to add an auto layout. Now we can customize this to look the way that we want it to look. So I'm going to just make it 40 pixels by 40 pixels. I'm also just going to create the fill as white, and if you'd like to put a stroke around it, you can as an option, but what we're going to do now is select this and we are going to copy it 2 more times. So what you want to do is you want to now change the color. So this is going to be when you hover over the calendar date. All right. And the third one is going to be when you click on the calendar date. So you want the hover to be a little bit of a lighter color and then the click version to be a darker color. You can use any color you prefer. I'm also going to go ahead and change the color of the text to the click state to white so that it stands out a little bit more. We can now also go ahead and customize what the auto layout looks like, so we can change the corner radius and round it slightly. We're going to go ahead, click down and drag over all 3 of these variants, and we're going to go up to the top on this icon and we are going to create a component set. So now what you need to do is select the very first version or the very first variant. Now from here, you're going to go over to the right hand side, you're going to click on prototype. And now we can start building the interactions. Now with the very first one, you're going to hover your cursor over that frame and you'll see a plus icon. Once you see this plus icon, you're going to click down and you're going to drag it over to the second version or the second variant. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select here from our options the while hovering option. And then just underneath that, you'll see it says change to, and we're going to leave it as change to. We're also going to make sure that the animation is smart animate, and just underneath that, we're going to leave it as ease out, and we are going to change the timing to 100 milliseconds. The next thing we're going to do is take that version, the second variant in the center here, and we're going to do the exact same, and we're going to click down on the plus icon and drag it over to the third state, which is the click state. So here you are not going to use the hover, you are going to use the on click. We're going to choose the change to and make sure that it is property 1 and frame 3. Again, we're going to use smart animate, ease out, and 100 milliseconds as the timer. So now you're going to take your click state, which is your last one, the very dark blue one, and we are going to click down on the plus icon and drag it over to the very first state. That means that you will be able to return from that click state over to the normal state without a click on it. So we are going to just keep these properties on click, change to, and property 1, frame 1. We're going to keep the smart animation, ease out, and 100 milliseconds as a timer. So what we're going to do now on the left hand side is we're going to go to assets, and you'll see just under all libraries, you'll see local components. Let's open that up, and here you will see your component 1, which we just created. So let's drag it over. So here we're going to go ahead and create 6 copies so that we have 7 in total. So this will represent each one day of the week. We're going to now just click down, select all of them, and we'll go up to the top right hand side in design. The very last option gives you a drop down menu, and you're just going to say distribute horizontal spacing. This will equal all the spacing. Now just under frame, we're going to just make sure that it is 8 pixels in between each one of these. We're going to go ahead now and select this. We're going to make 5 more rows, which means we'll need 6 of these in total. You'll also now click down, drag over them, making sure everything is selected. We're going to go up again to design on the top right hand side and click the very last icon, and we are going to tidy this up so that all the framing in between is going to be all the same. We're going to change the pixel spacing again to 8 so everything is equal. We're going to go ahead now and just make sure that each and every one has a corresponding date. So of course from 1 all the way to 31. We're going to go down, and the very last row that we've created, which is extra, we're going to click down, drag over it, Make sure it's selected, and we're going to move it to the top. We're going to go ahead now, and each individual one, we will just double click and edit the text to say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all the way through. If you would like to start your week on a Sunday, you can do so. Of course, you just need to swap that around. So now we can just use this very first cell that we've created, and we are going to just copy it, and we can just drag it up to the top of our calendar. We're going to use this for the month. We can now go ahead, change it to the appropriate month, and we're going to drag this over so that it is the same width as the entire calendar days. The next thing is quite important. So we're going to click down and drag over the month and the days. And we are going to just right click on this, and you want to go down and click on detach instance. Now this will allow this section to not be interactive. So no one can click on it, tap on it, nothing will happen. And then we just want to say ungroup again. We're going to right click and just click on the ungroup, and then it'll look like this. We can now go up to the top left hand side. We can use our framing tool. Let's create a frame. We can name it test or calendar or whatever you would like. And we're going to take our component that we've created on the left hand side, and we're going to drag it inside of our frame. All right, let's move it to the center, make sure it looks nice and neat. And these extra 4 days over here that we don't need for now, we are going to just remove them. You can now see, if you go up to the top right hand side and you click on preview, it is now an actively working interactive calendar.